Let's see what we have here. Wow, this looks very good, very good. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys one of the things I do with the excess power coming from my solar panels in my off-grid home. Now you can see everything on your screen right now: the inverter, the air fryer, the chicken that is waiting to be fried, and of course you can see my DC watt meter, which I want to reset now to 0 so that we will know how much energy it uses up. And of course the battery is right on top of the meter. Yes, that's the battery for you, and of course that's the controller. One of the things people don't know is that they can actually use the excess power coming from their solar panels depending on how much solar panels they have and what they use during the day. I have a lot of people that they don't use anything during the day, maybe except for their freezer, and they have a lot of solar panels that can even help them cook during the day. These are things we're going to be looking at in this channel so that you can know how to maximize the power that's coming from your solar panels. It's going to help you save electricity bills, maybe gas. There are some seasons in my house I don't even buy gas at all, I just use electric to cook. So these are things that are possible with your off-grid system. However, there are some things to note. The size of your inverter is going to matter, the size of your battery bank is going to matter, and more importantly, the size of your solar system is going to also matter. And remember, we are looking at someone that is totally off-grid, because I don't have grid power in my home as presently, and I don't know if I'm going to have in future, but I've connected to the grid, but we don't get grid power. If you've watched my previous video, you know about that. So this is me putting the chicken in the air fryer, and one of the things I do is I parboil the chicken just to see that the sauce and everything they enter the chicken. I prefer it that way. So that way, instead of me to fry the chicken, this is what we used to just do, the air frying and everything. But like I said, we're going to be seeing how much energy it takes. And remember, depending on how dry you want it, it's going to determine how much energy you're going to use. So that's the way it works. And of course, you can see the knobs on top of the air fryer. So one of them is for the temperature and the other one is the timer. So what happens is that you can set the temperature to any temperature you want to, depending on what you are air frying, and at the end of the day you can also set the timer. But the problem I have with this particular product is that it cannot work without somebody putting it on. If I put it on, the timer will count down on this one whether there's power or not. So maybe in future, if I'm getting another one, it's going to be like, if it gets power, it start working automatically until the power goes off or until the timer makes it switch off. That's the kind of air dryer I would like to have. That way I don't need to be at home for it to work for me. Yes, because I can set cut-off devices and turn on devices so that when my batteries are fully charged, they will automatically turn it on, and when it has finished toasting or something, it will automatically cut off. But I'll be doing those things in future. You can see I'm setting the knob, I'm putting the temperature at about 160, and of course the timer, I want to put the ratings at 10. For every 10 I'll come back. The last time I put it on 40 or so, I got the fish I was air drying, I got it almost burnt. So I always like putting it on this low so that whenever I come back, I'll just check if it's okay. I put it back on 10 again, just like that. And one other thing is I don't want to waste excess power, that's why I put it on that 10. That last time I put it for so long, and at the end of the day I was wasting power. What would have taken me maybe about 8 minutes, it took me about 15 minutes or 16 minutes to get it done. So I don't want to do that, that's why I put the knob on 10. So but if it's fresh chicken, I could take my chance of putting it on the highest. That way I know that it will take time for it to do a job. You can see I put on the air fryer and you can see what is pulling. So the energy is counting now. You can see it's going up gradually, and of course you can see 1700 watts. Now mind you, I always try to remind people the inverter consumes about 90 watts, which you saw in the beginning. Yeah, that's the clip there. So when I just reset the meter, that's the inverter on. Now the air fryer, once in a while it cuts off. I'm sure it has a thermostat inside that helps to cut off when it's too hot and everything. So that way it comes on again. So you can see that red light on top of the air fryer. So it comes on and off. Whenever it's on, it's drawing power. When it's off, it doesn't draw any power, or maybe minimal power. So that's how it works. So you can see the energy is climbing up. So this is the first 10 minutes that we have gone to. It has gone off on its own. So what I want to do now is to check whether the chicken is okay. You can see I've checked it up, and at the end of the day, it is not where I want it to be just yet. So I'll put it on again, and now you can see the green light has gone off, and it's not drawing any power now from 1700 watts. You can see it has come on now. Let's check the meter. So you can see it's showing 1790 watts. At this point, you can see that the energy we have used up is about 400 and something watt hour. Knowing the energy that we have used right now, and of course we're going to find out the energy we use totally. If we are sizing our system, this could be a very good factor. If we know we're going to be using gadgets like this, we can also try to factor maybe the amount of solar panels we're going to have, and of course maybe the size of battery and everything overall. So once you have an idea of how these things work, it's very possible for you to use this kind of gadgets, especially during the day. The timer has gone off a second time, and it's time for us to check if we are okay with the result that we have gotten thus far. And it's looking dry, at least drier than it was before, but I like it when it's a bit crispy, so we have to go for a third time. And after that third time, we'll check up the energy that we use, and if possible compare with other things we do with our solar system. For instance, I have done an experiment where I pumped water with my pumping machine into a 1500 liter tank. That way, if I do a comparison between the results I get here now and with that result, I'll be able to understand exactly how to manage my power. So that's one thing that's very key. So if I'm pumping my water every day and I'm going to be doing something like this every day, at the end of the day, I will be able to calculate how many solar panels and maybe which season I can comfortably use it, because we're in the rainy season right now, and sometimes the solar does not deliver the way it's supposed to deliver. So that way, you may need to put all these ones aside or use other means to get the results you want to get. And during the hot season again, where the solar performs very well, that is if you are living in an off-grid situation, I'm always using that as a yardstick. So that way you'll be able to enjoy the use of some of your gadgets at home. I'm trying to use the inverter to assess what it is consuming. So you can see 53% is a 3.5 kV inverter. So we're using over 50% of the capacity, and that is something to know, because if you're using a small inverter, maybe like a 1.5 kVA, this device is not going to come on, or it won't damage the inverter. You can see the energy are going up, and of course the timer is getting to the point where it will soon turn off. I don't think we're going for a fourth time, because once it turns off now, I want to believe that everything will be fine and we won't need to go again. It has gone off finally, and at the end of the day, you can see the energy that we used. So, and of course you can see the texture. So this is exactly what I'm looking for. And now our chicken is ready. Wow. So it's time to get to business. Overall, this system, you can see this is a 5 kilowatt hour lithium phosphate system, a 3.5 kVA inverter, and of course the charge controller is 120 amps. You can see that I'm using it to power this air fryer without any problems. In this channel, you're going to see, I think, outside of the box as much as I can, because if you understand how your system works, you'll be able to know how to use it. So that's what my channel is about. Do well to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comment section the kind of videos you want to see. See you guys and catch you on the next one.